I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Hiroki. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Falsehood, important things are needing new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
It's Birdo Prey 5 Cupla, and welcome to Bed Life for Friday. Friday? Is it Friday? It is Friday. Friday, January 20th, 2023. 20 days into the new year. Wow. Talk about time flying. Not Ryan Johnson was first in the chat. Kapla says, hello in Kapla. Hail, Karoga. Hail to you, not Ryan Johnson. Richie Poole was second, says, Kapla, Richie. John Araki says, the only thing Birdo Prey spoils is cans of Spam. That's not true, John Araki, but thank you. Richie Poole says, that 90s show, spoiler alert, everyone is 20 years older. Yes. Oh, right. The title. Today's title. I wanted to go with National Camcorder Day because it is National Camcorder Day, amongst other days. It's actually some pretty good days today, as those national days go. But National Camcorder Day, especially interesting, a day to remember when you could take video in the palm of your hand, not digitally to a cell phone, mind you, but an actual VCR with a tape that was in your hand. And granted, the tape might have been smaller than a full-size VHS cassette tape. Towards the end, we had mini tapes. VHS-C was the most advanced because you could actually put those tapes into a converter that converted them into full-size VHS tapes that would play in your regular VCR. So those were really cool. Or if you went with like Sony, maybe some other brands, they would have some more proprietary shaped tapes that you could get more than 30 minutes of standard quality on them. And even in the later days of camcorders, we had the HD camcorders that recorded in HD 1080i. I don't know if they did 1080p, but 720p or 1080i signal to a physical tape. And then you needed to use a firewire cable to bring that digital signal into your computer to edit it. Those were the days. Those were the days. I've got a couple of camcorder stories for those who remember. We'll get to them. What'd you say, Mama Frey?
I said you have camcorders, you have VCR.
Yes, we have camcorders here. I still have old tapes I've yet to digitalize, and the VCRs and everything. Mr. Lundale's Groovy Movies says, don't really give a rat's about that 90s show. 70s was okay for a while, then became boring. I see the same thing happening here. Save your pennies. Wait for some real entertainment. John DeMarco says, greetings, everyone. Greetings, John. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. And Mike Richards asked John DeMarco, is Jeopardy tomorrow night? It is usually Saturday night. We'll see what John DeMarco says. And he says, yes, Jeopardy tomorrow night. Awesome. Richie Poole says, you want some real entertainment? Check out Cowboy Bebop. I've heard of Cowboy Bebop, but I honestly have no idea what that means. Like, is Cowboy Bebop a person? An animal? I mean, I'm assuming it's a person. I mean, for all I know, it's a robot. Yvette says, good evening, Bert. You know, okay, as a kid, there was this band called, what was it called? The Miami Sound Machine. And I was a kid. So I assumed that the Miami Sound Machine was an actual machine that produced music or a song. And for somebody, I remember growing up, I had zero interest in music whatsoever. Like, I was some type of Puritan right off the fucking Mayflower or something. Like, I have music, that's the devil's work. Not that I gave a shit, because I wasn't like I believed in God and the devil or something, that I was like, it's Satan. No. I just didn't give a fuck about anything that would be considered popular in any way, shape, or form. So I didn't give a shit about music. And the only thing that was interesting, Miami Sound Machine. I guess that might be interesting to see how that works. Big surprise. It's not a machine. It's just the name of a band. Fuckers. Giving me all this hope. Yvette says, woohoo, the weekend off. Cut a plot, Yvette. The lovely Yvette. 47 York Young says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47. And Yvette says, good evening, Bird and everyone. Todd Jenny, Kapla, a.k.a. T-Berg, Sci-Fi Tech, says, camcorders, amateur videos of frockling adults. Oh, the 90s. Just ask Bud Bundy. Well, you know, okay, so I had the camcorder. As a kid, you know, like as a kid in that 90s show or whatever, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, you know, my quote unquote friends who lived on the block, we take the camcorder. I wish we did a tape, and I always looked for this tape. Unfortunately, it's long gone. It's been either overwritten, erased, thrown out, probably stuck in a box that then never made it through different moves. but there was this scene where, okay, so in my childhood home, we had a driveway in the front of the house, but we had a corner house. So then we also had a big whole long side that ran up the avenue that my dad had the good sense to put in an extra driveway on the side, even though there was plenty of parking on the street. He put in really, he made it wide enough to fit 2 additional cars parked out back there and have a basketball court. Now, granted, the basketball court probably didn't get the most use from me, but it was a nice thing to have until kids would just start playing on the basketball hoop like they owned the place and it wasn't their property. But at the time, it seemed like a good idea. Anyway, one of the 2 cars parked back there was this big brown van that Dad O'Prey used to have. It was his work van. Remember, Dad O'Prey used to, among other things, put out full-size, Pac-Man and Street Fighter type video games to various stores and whatnots around Brooklyn. And so it was a big mostly empty van full of all types of tools Dad O'Prey would use at work. He used to keep a really sharp, like, not a dagger. I don't know what the hell it was called. Not a dagger, not a machete, but something that almost reminded me of like a raptor's fingernail, like from Jurassic Park, but flat and metal and sharp. Anyway, he had this stuff stuck to the ceiling. They could pull it out, God forbid somebody tried to carjack him, I guess. Anyway, we used to play in that van because, that was the 80s and the 90s. Where else would you play? You play whatever. You play in a work van. Who cares? That it's probably, full of tetanus viruses and sharp metal things. And anyway, so we had, it was like just after Halloween. So we had an extra gravestone, plastic gravestone. We probably bought at our store. It was called Star Value, but for all practical purposes, it was like the neighborhood Walmart at the time. Anyway, I affixed it to the front of the van, and it made it look, pretended that, we'd go switch between scenes where me and my friend were in the van, and I pretend we're driving. I'm driving, of course. And rather than the van move, because obviously we don't have the keys to the van and we're not nearly old enough to drive in New York City, where you had to be 17 at an absolute minimum to drive under any circumstances. We're easily 3 or 4 years too young. And anyway, I also had, I don't know where it came from, maybe Sis O'Prey had this blow-up penguin doll, but it was all deflated and probably been outside for 6 months, so it was full of filth. But you could tell it was a penguin. So rather than drive into the penguin, off screen, my friend or whatever threw the penguin toward the van. So I was recording it, and it made it look like the van hit the penguin rather than the penguin hit the van. And I just said, roadkill. And it was at the perfect timing. And it was part of a video where we're driving around hitting into animals on purpose. Obviously, this fake animals, but it was just hysterical. And to this day, I see that van, I see that plastic shitty gravestone attached to the front of it, and I see the shitty penguin being thrown perfectly hitting like the gravestone as the van is not driving, but in my mind it's driving, and I hear myself saying roadkill, and I crack myself up to this day. To this day, 30 years? Literally 30 years later, I am still cracking up at roadkill. I wish, and it was captured on camcorder, but unfortunately, I didn't think to save the tape. And that wasn't even the camcorder story I intended to tell. That was bonus, okay? That was bonus camcorder story. Yvette says, I still have a tape camcorder. My late dad left me it. It still works. Very cool, Yvette. I've got a couple here. I'm pretty sure. I ordered them on eBay so I could digitalize some of the various not VHS, but various analog tape formats I had. And I never got through them all. I'm maybe 90% done. Richie Poole says Betamax greater than VHS. You would, Richie. You would think that. Moxley fans is Bird. Kapla Bird. Hope you and the family are doing well today. Kapla Moxley. Rod Thunderheart says, Hail Bird of Play. Kapla Rod Thunderheart. Good. I can speak. I can talk. Okay. I do know English. I apologize. Moxley fan says hello to us all. Uncle Remus says fire. Rod Thunderheart says just doing a drive-by like. Thank you, Rod. I'll take it. Moxley fan says we, the people. Absolutely. Kapla again, Rod Thunderheart. JP's, Kapla JP says hello, Berto Bright 5. Richie Poole says the Bebop is a ship, a cowboy is a bounty hunter. I'm skeptical, Richie. Yvette says Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movies is doing the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Join us for some fun. Mama Pray, you're gonna join?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're busy. Oh, Charlie will be. Oh, that's right. Oh, we can't show that to Charlie. He'd be traumatized like you. Substance D says Kapla. Kapla Substance D. And JP says bell peppers and beef. Bell peppers and beef. I don't know what that's about, but not me. Mom will probably likes bell peppers. I have a pepper problem. I used to like peppers, but peppers, they don't like me so much. Yvette says, Bird, have you got it on live chat? Of course not, Yvette. You would think I would know that, but apparently I did not. I'm on live chat now. Please let me know if there's something I missed. JP says, oh no, rich kids and their exploits with camcorders. Yeah. That's a sickle. I think it was a sickle, Mr. Lundell. Yes, it looks like a sickle. That must be what it was. Blah, says JP's. Richie Pulls, it's a batleth. Sounds like that'll print. No, not a batleth. Not a mechleth. It was probably a sickle. One of them carpet cutting knives. No, it was bigger than a knife. Bigger than a knife, JP's. Uncle Remus's favorite camcorder scene is a movie in European Vacation. Clark Griswold films his wife naked with the camcorder. Camcorder gets stolen, and tape is sold as a yes. That is a good scene, and I tell you, Clark's wife. I forgot how damn attractive she was. She is quite attractive. She's quite an attractive woman. And the original Vacation, you get to see quite a bit of her. Quite a bit of her. You know, the Wally World movie. Gotta say. Hakeem says, Kapla Bird, and hope you're all doing well. Can't wait to hear those cam stories. Very soon, Hakeem. Very soon. Antiderivative Jill, Kapla, Antiderivative Jill says, Kapla, listening and driving, awesome. Drive safely. Forza Jersey says, Kapla, Kapla, Forza, and says, happy Friday. That 90s show, is this a prank? No, Forza. It is real. It is on Netflix right now as we speak. The entire first season, 10 30-minute episodes, all got dropped yesterday. And I watched them all. Daniel's Hot Topic says, hello, Bird. Remember that movie, European Vacation, is so great. European Vacation is okay. Don't get me wrong. I like European Vacation. But I love Eurotrip. Eurotrip, high schoolers, you know, the end of high school, beginning of college movie of kids, American kids, taking a summer and going to Europe for various reasons. Very fun movie. Very fun movie. Scotty doesn't know. Don't tell Scotty. You'll know what I'm talking about if you watch the movie. Highly recommend European Vacation. It is. I heard from Future Man, from Joseph Petrick, that Bratislava, spot on. They filmed for real in Bratislava. That's exactly what Bratislava looked like. And the train is coming soon to Bratislava. They are building it now. And when it gets there, man, Bratislava is going to be a great place to visit. Maybe not so much right now for Americans, unless you're a fan of Miami Vice. Yeah, Bratislava. You buy a hotel in Bratislava because of the exchange rate for cents on the dollar. Miss Lundell says, back when Beverly D'Angelo was smoking hot, little number. Moxley fans, Bird, yes, Clark's wife was smoking hot. John DeMarco says, it's real. They created it. It's real. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Beverly D'Angelo portrayed Clark's wife. She had a great singing voice, too, and portrayed Patsy Cline in Coal Miner's Daughter. I did not know. John Araki says, Eurotrip. We never got to see enough of Michelle Tattenberg. I assume that's the girl in the movie. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the actress's name, but yeah, that's true too. She did not get naked. Moxley says, yes, Eurotrip is a great movie. Indeed. And it's one of Sisso Prey's favorite movies too, by the way. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, please note that Loretta Lynn's father was not a Kurogan child orphan minor. Okay. Noted. Forza doesn't live up to the classic That 70s Show. Okay, so let's talk about That 90s Show really quick. And I promise you, spoiler free. Spoiler free. Also, heads up, I am, as we speak, well, maybe I took a break to do this stream, but I'm editing a spoiler-free review I will be uploading hopefully later tonight to the channel. That will go into some more details. It's coming in about a 20-minute or so video. Spoiler-free as well, although we'll call that, say, minimal spoilers. For today, for this stream, we're doing no spoilers. No spoilers, because it only came out yesterday. The first 3 episodes, in my opinion, are the hardest to get through. They are more woke than I would like, but they're not terrible. Again, we have 10 episodes. So 1, 2, and 3, for me, particularly hardest, I would say the worst writing is the first 3 episodes. After that, they really tighten up. The writing gets markedly better. The wokeness level goes down. And by the middle of the season, there are some pretty heavy laughs, some pretty good laughs. They do some, I don't want to give it away, but they do some parodies of some 90s TV shows and stuff. And I mean, they were pretty spot on. Pretty good stuff. There is an ample amount of cameos, and they're for the most part well timed. I was a little disappointed towards the end that the last quote unquote secret cameo was a relatively unimportant, barely memorable character from the first series. But other than that, I laughed out loud several times. Granted, it was the middle of the night because I didn't start watching it until like 7 p.m. last night. And then I watched with LDG. We watched a few episodes in the backstage. And then I decided to go to sleep. I said, let me watch one more episode. Because like I said, the first 3, I didn't think it was going to be particularly good. And we watched 3. Well, actually, I watched the first one twice. So, but then I put the 4th one on, and I stayed up and I watched it, and I don't know, maybe I'll do a 5th. And then I did a 6th and a 7th. And then I fell asleep sometime during the 8th. But then when I woke up, I put it back on where I'd fallen asleep, and I watched the rest of the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th, and I was sad that it was over. I was sad it was over, but I knew at 4 o'clock in the morning that I was going to review this today because it was well enough, I liked it enough that I wanted to do a review. It surprised me. Had it been shit, had it been crap, had it been nothing but woke garbage, I would not have recorded a review. I would have just told you guys that on the stream and said, don't waste your money. I still don't think anybody should waste money. I mean, it's on Netflix. If you don't have your own Netflix, I feel like you probably know somebody who has Netflix who you can go visit and watch their Netflix, or they can visit you and show you their Netflix and you can watch it. I mean, it's only 10, 30-minute episodes. So I don't think anybody's going to buy a subscription to Netflix for this show. But assuming you have a Netflix subscription available, then I would highly recommend watching it if you are a 70s show fan. Now, I would also suggest before you start watching this, you go back and watch the last episode of that 70s show, which unfortunately is not on Netflix. In the United States, it's on Peacock. Peacock, for whatever reason. Peacock has that 70s show. So that's what I did. And I go into it into detail in the video I'm going to post. But there's some math that just doesn't work, let's say. The math is off for how the show ended. And remember, that 70s show ended December 31st, 1979. At midnight, it became, January 1st, 1980. And that's when the show ended. It ended at the stroke of midnight on July 1st, 1980. And this show, that 90s show, takes place July 4th weekend, so maybe July 2nd or so, 1995. And takes place over the summer. It's only over the summer, so pretty much July and August. The 10 episodes take place over 2 months. This is no surprise, but Red, Foreman, and Kitty Foreman still have the same house, and the main character is Eric and Donner's daughter, and she comes to visit for the summer, and that's what starts off the show. And I'm not going to tell you anything more. If you haven't seen the trailer, don't. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, do not watch the trailer. The trailer gives away so much. Like, I saw it. It would be better had I not. Luckily, I'd forgotten a lot of it because I watched it a month ago and I didn't give it a whole bunch of thought. But, don't watch the trailer if you haven't already. That's enough. That's all I want to say about it. If I keep talking, I'm liable to give more away. If you're more interested in the show, watch the video I'm going to upload hopefully tonight. And then if you're still interested, come next week once people had a chance to watch it. If those who, want to watch it, we can talk about it more. But for today, I think that's enough. I suggest if you've got the time and you've got a Netflix subscription and you were a fan of that 70s show, then it's worth watching. The first few episodes might be harder to get through, but trust me, it gets better. It gets better by episodes 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Those are tough. That's maybe not tough, but they're tougher to get through. You get easier as it goes, and then towards the end, it kind of flutters a bit too. There is, it's it's still modern writing in that, you know, except for Red Foreman, if you're a dude, you're just a total idiot, which is unfortunate. Because looking back at the original That 70s Show, you've got guys, I don't get me wrong, Kelso and even the other guys, none of them are portrayed as particularly smart. Even Eric is played to be, let's say, a beta male. But at least they had some intelligence. Okay, I mean they were not the smartest kids on TV, but Jesus Christ, they could at least do things. Whereas these guy kids, you're kind of ashamed to be the same species as them. The girls, of course, they have no problem. They're not that they have no problem, but they're smarter because that's how they're written to be. Nighthawk has subscribed. Kaplan Nighthawk. If you're new here, congratulations. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy your time here. Josh Street says, Bird, can you turn off Karoger's Weather Dominator that you bought from Cobra? I'm getting sick of the weather going from 60s to low 20s at night. I'm sorry, Josh Street. The lever broke off, and it's very hard to control the machine without the lever. I'm doing my best. Forza Jersey says Euro trip was badass. Excuse me. Yes. Excuse me. John Street says I haven't watched Euro Trip in years. I try to watch it every few years. Murder Hornet returns, says hello, Kapla, Murder Hornet, Bee's Nest. Someone was looking for you, Murder Hornet. I forget who. Forza Jersey says she almost got naked on the men's nude beach. Yes, that was a great scene. Not the men, but yowzers. Gorilla's Random Thoughts has been lurking. Would have said hi earlier, but the effing a-holes. My supervisor was sitting at the table. Kapla Gorilla. Richie Pools is Bird of Prey. What if I am not a fan of That 70s Show? Would I enjoy this new show? Probably not, Richie. Like, if you're not a fan of That 70s Show, you probably wouldn't get most of the jokes. I mean, if I was a 15-year-old, maybe. Like, if you were 15, maybe you would watch it. I don't know. I mean, for me, there is no humor with the kids. The kids are just wasted space and time. I wanted to get back to Red and Kitty and other adults in the show. The kids are blah to me. I don't know if they're supposed to be funny to younger viewers. Maybe. I don't know who the show is for, and I think that is one of the problems with the show. It's certainly no Cobra Kai, because Cobra Kai is, clearly does well at both older people like myself and younger people. There's plenty for them to enjoy too. like, even as an older adult, watching Cobra Kai when it's just the kids interacting amongst themselves, I'm still into it. They're compelling. There's drama, there's comedy, there's good. I want to watch it. Okay, so it's not the fact that it's just they're too young, because I mean, honestly, I'd say they're pretty much about the age of the Cobra Kai kids when Cobra Kai started. So it's not that I can't be into, what the kids are doing. It's that the show just doesn't do anything for me. Hey, Mama Pray.
Excuse me, son.
Yes, Mama Pray.
Could you please refrain from calling yourself older adults? Adults, but older adults. Well, then what am I? Dead?
No, Mama Pray.
Oh.
You're
Think of this.
You're 71 years young.
Oh, okay.
You're
To hear you refer to yourself as an older adult, I'm like,
well, I'm sorry. I'm out of the prime
I'm going
demographic.
in the yard with this shovel I have in my hand, and I'm going to start digging.
No, Mama Pray, don't dig a grave.
I shouldn't dig my own grave yet.
No.
Okay. I'll go back to what I'm doing.
We just watched 1923, and Mama Pray watched the old lady dig a grave.
Sorry to interrupt, son.
Yeah, it's okay, Mama Pray. You have a tail or anything? No, not that type of tail. Jesus Christ.
I might have. If you keep talking, something will pop into
Something will pop into mine. This is the summer of 95 was my favorite growing up. Just the right combo of childhood summer fun and lack of responsibility. Richie Poole says, yes, Cobra Kai did it right. Yeah, so Cobra Kai is proof that with the right writing, you can have compelling stories from both the young kids and the adults. And in Cobra Kai, while I do prefer when it's, LaRusso and Lawrence, it's not that bad when it's the kids either. In 90's show, it's just filler. Whenever the kids are on screen, it's like it just makes, wasted time until there's a kiddie scene or a Red Foreman or one of the other various adults. There's one new adult who, let's just say, I could do without. I could do without. We don't need more trashy adults on TV, and that's the way they went with this one. But I'm more concerned with the adults we don't get to see than the ones that we do. But yeah. Miss Lundell hates Cobra Kai. Miss Lundell, I don't know how you hate Cobra Kai. For the life of me, I don't see what anyone sees in that show. Okay, the thing is, Miss Lundell, I was never a giant fan of Karate Kid, okay? I watched the original Karate Kid. I thought it was a good movie. But if you had asked me before Cobra Kai, what are the 100 movies I'd want to see turned into a TV show, Cobra Kai or Karate Kid would not have been on my list of my 100. Okay, there is no logical sense. I thought I needed more Karate Kid in my life. That said, watching Cobra Kai season 1, they did an amazing job. What I like the best about Cobra Kai is mostly that it's like like, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason, Johnny Lawrence is basically a time traveler. Okay? For whatever he did for the last 20 years or 25 years, he somehow completely missed the passage of time. We're made to think that he was doing his thing, driving his car, listening to cassette tapes, just replaying his last years of college over and over and over and over again. Like he was stuck in this loop for 25 years, and he doesn't wake up until the series begins. And when he finally realizes time has progressed around him, he starts off, 25 years behind with barely any concept of what a modern cell phone is, never used a computer before, never, doesn't know anything about anything. And that's really what the series is about. I mean, half of that series is Johnny Lawrence learning about modern conveniences. Has nothing to do with Karate Kid, has nothing to do with karate at all. But it's fucking hilarious. And the fact that he's a 80s guy and maybe 1990s guy in, 2020, maybe it was 2018 when it came out, but he's an old time guy with 80s attitude, and he's fighting the system. He's fighting the system of wokeness. He's fighting the system of feelings and bullshit, right? One of my favorite scenes from the first season of Cobra Kai is when Johnny Lawrence is getting his dojo started, and these loser kids come in, and he has no idea what they're talking about, half of them. And the kid says, "Oh, I need this and this, and I have asthma." And they pull out their inhaler. And Johnny Lawrence pulls the inhaler, throws it on the floor, and says, "You don't anymore." It was just hilarious. I haven't got asthma. Not anymore. And throws the inhaler across the room. That's Cobra Kai. And maybe you didn't see that, but I think that's freaking hilarious. Richie Poole says, "Let him have it, Mamo Pray." Miss Lindell says, "Mamo Pray, you're the smartest person on the stream." John DeMarco says, "Mamo Pray has many years of wisdom." She says thank you to everyone. Captain Fandom Nerd, Kapla Captain says hello. Positive Candace says, "Does Mamo Pray like grumpy old men?" That's a trick question. Yes, the movie. She does like the movie. She doesn't like actual grumpy old men.
No.
Miss Lundell says, "Karate Kid 1 and 2, I absolutely loved. Cobra Kai, I just don't get." Well, I explained it. If you don't get it, that's your loss. Daniel's Hot Topics says, "How was that 90s show? I watched that 70s show a lot in the 90s and early 2000s. They say people who grew up in the 70s are going to love the 70s show for references." I like the references, but I didn't grow up in the 70s. I grew up in the 90s. Daniel says, "I guess I like that 90s show for the 90s references. The 80s show failed."
In the 90s.
The 80s. Well, the 80s and the 90s.
Okay, well, you left out the 80s.
I was talking about the 80s earlier. 80s, 90s. Yeah. Daniel, so there aren't a ton of 90s references. I know it's hard to believe that, but like And this was something LDG pointed out after we watched 3 episodes. They didn't have a fucking Nintendo. They didn't have a Nintendo, a Super Nintendo, a Sega Master System, a Genesis. They didn't have any. In 1995, no Nintendo. I mean, a kid mentions Nintendo once. They mention a Nintendo system that never existed. And in the trailer, they mention a particular Nintendo game. But honestly, I don't even remember that scene from the episode. So either I missed it, which is possible, or the trailer has a scene that they ended up cutting from the show, which I think is more likely. Yeah, there was no video game. So I don't know how you can have a show about that 90s stuff and not have a single arcade system, home system in the show. Boys of Jersey says, I love how diverse Point Place, Wisconsin got by 1995. Lol, that area isn't very diverse in 2023. Netflix, so I know they like being inclusive. Makes more sense if set in New York Metro. Actually, Forza, I bring that up exactly, that point exactly in my review. Yes, they absolutely extra diversified Point Place, Wisconsin, to some place that would have been, more accurate New York City. New York City, you have the, African American person next door. You have a gay guy across the street. Non-binary child, 3 houses down, and Asian family on the corner, and a couple of white families in between. One of them, fairly nice. Another, particularly trashy. Yeah. I mean, that would be perfect for any block in Brooklyn, and not any block, but certain blocks in Brooklyn or Queens. Point Place, not very believable. However, the writing, they do it right. Nobody's up there saying, I'm a proud brown woman. Blah. No, that's not how it works. Honestly, they did it exactly how I remember it from the 90s. Kids weren't yelling about how inclusive they are, or about their color of their skin, or their background. They were all just having fun as kids. Okay? Nobody was saying, you white bastards, or you bad, nobody was bringing up. They were just saying, you bastard. Right. Exactly. If you're an asshole or a dick, you were an asshole or a dick. It wasn't because you were white or black or gay or straight. And remember, in the 90s, even the Democrats, even the politicians, they were not pro-gay, right? Bill Clinton, hell, even Barack Obama was against gay marriage in his first term. He didn't see the light till the second term, right? Barack Obama's first term, absolutely against gay marriage. So, yeah, I mean, in the 90s, there was still a lot of I don't want to say hate, but a lot of growing, a lot of equality to still find out there.
I do have a tail.
Oh, Mama Frey has a tail. Who would have guessed? Should you get your pillowcase, Mama Pray, or is this?
It's about the changes, not from the 90s.
Okay.
Uh,
We'll give it to Mama Pray.
Hi, everyone. Hello again. I should say I've interrupted enough during this stream. One of the things he's talking about the show, I did not see that, so I can't make any references to the show. I can make references to real life. And not in the 90s. I mean, life was going on, however it was in your city, your state, your life. And I certainly know that life in New York, with the amount of people and of all different religions, races, sexual orientations, or can you still say those words?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we kind of like just, went along with basically, if I liked you, I liked you. I didn't care where you came from, what language you spoke at home, what you look like. But it was more of pockets, like the if you came from a certain country, in New York, you tended to go to places where there were more of the people that you're familiar with. So there were pockets of different races and religions, and I guess in a way there still are. But what really, there's the phone. If it's my brother, tell him I'll call him back.
It's my sister.
Oh, okay. Well, talk to your sister. Anyway,
Hello.
9/11 is what brought everyone together,
She's on stream.
except, of course, the people that were responsible for 9/11. But it seemed like at that moment, everyone banded together to be against the people that caused 9/11.
Okay.
And after that,
Gotcha.
it didn't stay that way.
Okay.
There became, I won't say hatred, but more division again. I was working for the airlines, and not immediately after 9/11, because I didn't start there to 2003, but it was close enough that the rules that went into effect immediately after 9/11 were still in effect. There were 7 countries. All you had to do was have a passport from one of those countries, and you practically got strip searched before they let you on the plane. There were people, if somebody was wearing a turban, there were people saying, I'm not getting on that flight with them. Give me another flight. I mean, it was crazy. It really was. And everybody thought that it was okay to condemn 7 countries worth of people for the acts of just a few. It eventually, I don't know whether it was by law. I'm sure it was by law, but rules changed. And, I just saying there's been so many different approaches. And I'll still go down saying that when I grew up, we did not base friendships on color of skin, religion, sexual orientation. If you like the person, you like them. If you didn't like them, there's no law saying you have to like everybody. But there is a law saying you can't discriminate against a whole race of people because maybe there's one or two you don't like. Oh, or religion. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm open-minded and I've said it before. If I was anywhere other than New York, I guess I'd be called a liberal. But in New York, the liberals have gone so far, I'm really a conservative. I know this actually had no point in the whole thing, but the point being how times change and how attitudes change. And unfortunately, not everyone's attitudes change at the same pace. And I'm going to turn the stream back to my older adult son.
Oh, boy.
And going to ask one question. Do I need to call your sister back?
No.
Oh.
Well, she said when you.
Oh, okay.
Nothing major.
Nothing major. Okay. Guys, have a good night. I kind of went off topic here, but I think the whole world is off topic at this point. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Mom Over.
You.
Richie Poole says it was great seeing Elizabeth Shue in Cobra Kai. Again. Jedi Bill says, Kapla, Birdo Prey. But that pilot episode, he is hanging a modern flat screen TV. And of course, he's referring to Johnny Lawrence in the pilot episode of Cobra Kai. And yes, he is hanging a modern flat screen TV, but he's doing that in someone else's house for someone else. He himself does not have a modern flat screen TV. So what he knows the TV is, but he doesn't have one. Daniel's Hot Topic says, when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, I said someday, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, the Karate Kid will return. All Valley will return with Daniel LaRusso, Johnny Lawrence, Chosen, and Mike Barnes, I forget the name. In a TV series. You said that, Daniel? You were, wow, you were spot on. Forza Jersey says, I'm rewatching The Sopranos. They couldn't make that show today. Nope, they could not. It's basically a conservative comedy. It's so anti-PC, anti-woke. Just based a TV show where when they're not out, they're at a strip club. Yeah, that's not getting past. Even HBO wouldn't do that today. Even HBO wouldn't do that today. Of course, those shows is what made HBO. HBO wouldn't exist without shows like The Sopranos and the other shows that were basically softcore pornography. Daniel's Hot Topic says, I hope they mention Super Nintendo, Super Mario, or Donkey Kong Country in future episodes. Forza says, I don't want to give anything away, Daniel. Forza says, best scene, Tony Soprano says to his daughter, it may be the 90s outside, but in the house, it's 1954. I'm using that on my kids. That is a good line. Jedi Bill says, no, Bird of Prey. There is a very successful 80s show. It's called The Goldbergs. And my personal opinion, it's a wonderful, good 80s show. I've heard of The Goldbergs, Jedi Bill, but I was being very specific as to the show, That 80s Show. The title of the show was called That 80s Show. It did exist. It didn't go far. I think maybe it made it to a pilot. I don't know if it ever went far beyond the pilot, but there was at least a pilot. It was, as that 70s show was ending, Fox, I believe. Fox tried that 80s show, and it was instant regret, instant failure. Ford versus as a preteen in 1995, Nintendo and Sega were huge. Yeah. Rock Solid Productions, Kapla Rock Solid. Says Bird of Prey, Point Place is not a real town in Wisconsin, but I always assumed they were based in Racine, Kenosha, which are more ethnically diverse. I'm aware it's not a real place, but I don't know as to where it's really based. Rock Solid says Jedi Bill, Goldberg's died when Pops did, plus when they ran Jeff Gooding off the show. Daniel says back in the 90s, kids or young adults were not saying I'm not watching this movie because it's woke or talking about SJW, this or that, because those things didn't exist. Although, Daniel, I would, if you've never seen it, there's a movie called PCU, right? Politically correct. That was the term at the time. Instead of like things being social justice or woke, it was politically correct. And PCU was a movie about a bunch of college kids getting all afraid at everything that wasn't politically correct. And of course, it took a white guy, would never go over today, to get them all to protest the fact that they were protesting. And they saw it in their hearts that they realized they were their own worst enemies. And he fixed it. So, PCU is a surprisingly relevant movie. Rock Solid says 90s was the end of Gen X coming of age. We didn't care about race, color, creed, sex, etc. We were raised as feral kids. We left for school on our own, let ourselves in, stayed home alone. Some of us did. John DeMarco says, thanks to Mamo Pray. Absolutely. Rock Solid says, Gen X had no F's to give about that divide, things about the divide people now, because no one gave an F about us. Daniel's Hot Topic says, Tony Soprano said, it may be 90s outside, but it's 1954 in here. When did he say that? I don't know, Daniel, but I'm sure Google does. Deej Odyssey says, afternoon. Hey, Deej. Kapla Deej. Deej, it's good that you're here because today is, if you did not know, if anybody did not know, today is, amongst other things, National DJ Day. Now, not Deej Day, but Deej was a DJ at one time, so I still count it. It is indeed National Deej Day. What a coincidence, because Mamo Pray points out, besides being National Deej Day, it's National Charlie Day. Keep reading to learn the history of this name and how to celebrate the day. We know the history. We know the history. National Charlie Day and National Deej Day on the same day. One of life's little ironies. Speaking of who's not the father, it's Deej. Deej says, but I'm a retired DJ. Yeah, Tell it to the judge. National Cheese Lovers Day as well. I'm a cheese lover. All the cheeses, except the smelly ones. and the French. I like all cheeses as long as they're made from cow's milk and they don't stink. It's National Penguin Day. Penguins are cool. National Camcorder Day, which we get back to. Inauguration Day, but not this year. International Day of Acceptance. There's somebody in a wheelchair for some reason. Experience the tranquility as you journey through the divine paths of acceptance. International Fetish Day. Get yourself ready as we mark a day to express and satisfy our wildest fantasies. National Claudia Day. Okay. National Judy Day. Is that the same model? National Coffee Break Day. A lot of coffee drinkers out there. National Sebastian Day. How about Sebastian? You get your own fucking day. This is Charlie's day. Penguin Awareness Day. And to mock me, as if I'm not mocked enough, Take a Walk Outdoors Day. Put your sedentary life on pause and step out for a stroll. Fuck you. If I could, I would. International Fetish Day. I got to click on it. Look at the fucking pair of legs they got there. You even think those are human? Or you think they're just a model? A mannequin? Who cares? International Fetish Day is held annually on the third Friday in January. And this year it falls on January 20th. It's a day primarily set aside to increase awareness and support of BDSM, erotic practices between consenting adults. It also encourages members of the community, which community, to be more open about their sexuality. International Fetish Day opposes the law criminalizing possessing the fetishes tagged as extreme pornography. Are you aware that fetishes are usually practiced, are harmless, and can help those who participate in expressing them to reach their highest levels of sexual satisfaction? This day is an important one that helps promote this knowledge and the acceptance of people. Oh, it's more of the acceptance day. Fetishes are sexual or non-sexual things, so isn't that just anything, such as objects or parts of the body that arouse sexual desire or are necessary to reach full sexual satisfaction. They involve several seemingly strange and weird acts, including BDSM, sexual practices involving bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism. Masochism. The first International Fetish Day was held the 16th of January 2009, and in the UK, the day attracted some media coverage due to the forthcoming ban on extreme pornography, coming into force January 26, 2009. According to some reporters, claims instead of targeting exploitive, abusive, and bullying elements of the pornography industry, the law was aimed at sadomasochism, regardless of the context, which shouldn't be. One aspect of International Fetish Day is the wearing of an item of purple clothing by members of the community to show that while they practice fetishism, they also engage in sex that is within the range of normality for a culture or subculture, and typically involves sex that does not include elements of BDSM, kink, or fetishism. Fetishism. The day promotes exploration of people's sexualities and helps empower those without a voice to be bold and expressive of who they are. So wait. You wear purple to show that you also engage in sex that is within the range of normality. So you wear purple to show that you're not all about the fetish. Right. I see the logic in that. How to observe International Fetish Day. Organize a fetish training class. Watch fetish-themed movies with your partner and share information about fetishes. Well, I guess I just did one of the three. 5 facts about erotic fetishism that will blow your mind. Not your wad, just your mind. It can start early. Wow. I feel like we've gone into grooming territory. Fetishism usually becomes evident during puberty and may develop before that. Not in my house. Not in my house. Like Tony Soprano said, it might be 2023 out there, but in this house, it's 1954. It can be quite extreme. Acts include erotic asphyxiation, the use of choking. Right, just tell people what it is in case they didn't know. Yeah, you know what? The government loves when you do that, because then if you die, nobody questions it. Just another person lost due to autoerotic asphyxiation. The X-Files had it. The X-Files knew it. It rarely becomes a disorder. It's okay, folks. It rarely becomes a disorder. Like what? 1 in 10, 1 in 5, even 1 in 3. It's rare. It's rare. Don't worry about it. Fetishism, to the extent that it becomes a disorder, appears to be rare, with less than 1% of general psychiatric patients presenting fetishism as their primary problem. Well, of course it wouldn't be their primary problem, you nitwit. It's more common in males. And it's found in other animals. Holy shit, are there animals that like to dress up with fucking whips? Which animal? Which animal has the fetish? Possible boot fetishism has been reported in 2 different primates, a common chimpanzee and a guinea baboon, who became aroused while rubbing against and smelling a boot. A boot? What were they, Canadian? Fuckers. I cannot believe that this webpage existed. I cannot believe it. Oh my God. Rock Solid Productions says, and I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. Go back to Racine and Kenosha, aka Mistakes on the Lake, are in southeast Wisconsin, just north of Illinois state line, along Lake Michigan. I guess this is Point Place, is north between Sheboygan and Green Bay. Well, if I do recall, Point Place is quite the distance from Chicago. So I don't know if that helps. Daniel's Hot Topic says, Salty Tracker told me in the 90s, people were using the term feminazi. I guess that's where No Ma'am from Married with Children came from. I think No Ma'am predated that other term. And Deej says, son of a bitch, I am not the father. Yeah, Deej. Yeah, Deej. Mama Pray agrees with you, Deej. Forza Jersey says Rush Limbaugh was a legend. He's like an uncle to me. Yeah, he used the fema. Oh, Roxanne says Daniel's feminazi came from Rush Limbaugh. Deej says I would claim if I actually would have been about to do it the old-fashioned way. Deej says International Fetish Day. Okay, I can't pick on anyone for the quicksand prawn today, I guess. Forza says the 80s was the last pre-PC era. People could speak their minds within reason. Deej says those are dudes' legs. Those are not dudes' legs. Look at those legs. Damn it. I'm on the wrong fucking screen. Those are not dudes' legs. Forza says Tony Soprano said that in season 1, episode 11. And Deej says I'm not wearing purple. I'd look like that stupid dinosaur. Barney. Deej says explains why Bird enjoyed being spanked. No, I did not enjoy being spanked. Mike Richards says, what about robosexuals? Just say no. Right? When we're humans and robots date, the world ends. Forza is laughing so hard it hurts. That's a fetish for Forza. That's a fetish. Deej explains Epstein. He had autoerotic asphyxiation in jail. You'd be surprised how often that happens. Miss Lindell's Groovy Movie says, I leave the chat for less than 5 minutes, and Bird is talking about freaky, snarky stuff. Oh my God. Well, it's International Fetish Day. You've got to give me a pass. John DeMarco says, this is not the kind of rant I was expecting for today. 54.5 Axis Radio says, how about guys who dress up as pink bunnies? That's definitely a fetish. Forza says, everyone knows Epstein shot himself or 2 shots to the back of the head. Ms. Lindell says, Deej, if that was the case, why didn't they say he had his wanker exposed? Deej says they forgot to include that part. Roxanne says, Bird of Prey, holy shit, you pronounced those city names correctly. Oh, wow. There was a chance. And Miss Lodell says, Rush Limbaugh was using the term feminazi in the late 70s. Really? I didn't even know he was doing political stuff in the 70s. Thought he was an actual DJ. So, Camcorder Day. I remember. I never admitted this yet to anyone, but way back my freshman year of high school, I went to Italy, Switzerland and Italy. Easter break. Mom will pray and Dad will pray paid for me to go. It was like, I don't know, $700 or something, $800, maybe $1,200. I don't remember. It was expensive. It was very nice of them. It was kind of like my well, Sis O'Prey had a sweet 16 or like a big birthday. I never had one. Obviously, I was a guy, so I wouldn't really have a Sweet 16, but whatever it was, I went. It was cool. I enjoyed it. I had a camera with me. We had a camcorder. I took tapes with me. In hindsight, I shouldn't have, because it was heavy. I mean, even for a small palm-sized camcorder, it was heavy. It was a lot of extra stuff to carry and whatnot. But it was there. I might as well use it. And I was a teenage boy, and one of the girls on the trip I thought was particularly attractive. Her name was, I still remember her name. Her name was Claudia. I don't know her. She supposedly went to my high school. I never had a class with her before or since. She was probably in a completely different grade. I did not know her before the trip. Never saw her again after the trip. But on this trip, I thought she's cute. In particular, and I was not, it's probably her calling right now. No, it's Mama Pray. I am not a guy who generally stares at girls' asses. Okay, I'd rather stare at their chests. To be frank, I'm a boob guy, not an ass guy. But for this particular young woman who was older than me, okay, she was older than me. I don't know how much older, but she was older than me. She had a particularly curvy butt, and I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more. Not see, don't get me wrong. Not like I would have turned down the opportunity to see more. But I wasn't trying to peek under a skirt or anything. She wasn't wearing one. She was wearing pants. But I just, it'd be nice to be able to stare at that bottom without actually just staring at it in public, where everybody can just see me clearly staring at this girl's ass, and who knows what trouble that might cause later, or if somebody noticed it, or whatever. So I had a perfectly good camcorder. The problem is, of course, there's no easy way to record somebody with a fucking camcorder that, the size of a loaf of Wonder Bread. And, but I was like, oh, I know what I can do. I can pretend it's off, hold the camcorder upside down and backwards, and just aim it towards her ass while we were online. So I made sure, I don't know how, but I made sure she was online right behind me. No, I was online right behind her. So I had the camcorder in my hand, just off, but on, and recording, and it was, it just happened to be at the height of her ass, and for like 15 minutes or so, I recorded it. Of course, when I got home, I wasn't thinking that now I'm going to play all of these videos for Mom will pray and Dad will pray. And I was like, oh shit, how am I going to explain this? I was like, well, I'll tell him that, oh, I thought the video recorder was off instead of on. So then I was like, well, shit. Now, if I'm going to say that, now I've got to turn the video recorder off when I want to record something. So I purposely missed recording like a fountain or something, whatever it was. There was something nice that I would have recorded that I then purposely didn't record so I could justify that I had the on-off reversed so I could watch 20 minutes or 15 minutes of this girl's ass. So I got home, and on the first viewing, there was this girl's ass on screen for like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I must have had it off when I thought it was on, which means when I put it on, I really turned it off. And Dad O'Prey looked at me and he said, you know damn well you were just recording this girl's ass. And I was so embarrassed. I was mortified. I was like, how could they have seen through such a perfect crime? I don't think Mom O'Prey was even in the room at that point. Dad O'Prey obviously didn't give a shit. He was probably just happy they didn't have to watch this shitty footage from, it was so terrible. Even the footage that looking back at it, the footage I was trying to take, it was awful footage. Complete waste of time and space, and they were just humoring me to even watch it. And Dad O'Prey, I'm sure, was just happy I was recording a woman's ass. He didn't. He was just. He was happy. Kind of thing that fathers at the time just like, okay, they were happy that their son was straight, type of thing. But yeah, that was my main camcorder story. I guess I didn't think it through hard enough. I thought I was being so good, so coy. They saw right through it. At least Dad O'Prey. I doubt Mom O'Prey even remembers.
What?
My trip to Italy.
Camcorder?
I didn't give it away. I used it to record a girl's ass for 15 minutes. And I came home and said, oh, I thought it was off, and I was just holding it in my hand. But Daddy knew immediately that it was clearly not it was clearly not a mistake.
I guess those are the kind of things your father would have picked up on. He saw me.
Okay. So Mom O'Prey is saying that that's the type of thing Dad O'Prey picked up on before she did. No, I'm not Seymour Butts. Rock Solid is laughing. Not a perv, Deej. Rock Solid says Bird was embarrassed in bare ass. No, he wanted to see the girl bare ass. Dad always knows, says 54.5 Access Radio. Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movies says rule number 12638. Always have 2 tapes. One for all the sites of the European city you're visiting, and a second for all the freaky debauchery you actually did on vacation. Well, I was young, Mr. Lundell, It was my first trip away from home. And he says, granted, I would do the same if I had a camcorder and was in a line behind Cisco. Wow. 54.5 says Das Booty. And he says, but then again, I do have a video of her in a towel, thanks to Bird. Yeah. I wonder whatever happened to Claudia. There were a few girls that trip. They were all older than me. They were all older than me. Another one was Beatrice. She was Russian. And her mother was there too with her. Who was also Russian. Joked about how their entire library was Beatrice and Mom in front of every landmark. It was her and her mother. We were taking pictures of them in front of everything. I got my first kiss, not lip to lip kiss, but the first time a girl just kissed who wasn't a family member or a close friend. Random girl just kissed me on the cheek was a girl from that trip. Like I barely knew her, but after we got back, she felt like we were friends, and I passed in the hall, and she came up to me and kissed me on the cheek. She's like, "Oh, it's so good to see you." I was like, I mean, it wasn't romantic in any way, and which was fine because she wasn't my type. But I was like, ugh. I almost felt dirty. I was like, ew, germs. That was a weird trip. Not Ryan Johnson says, not only does Bird cheat, but he's a peeping Tom. A recording. No. Deed says Claudia got married and put on 80 pounds. Probably put on more than that. Just the average. I mean, I would imagine. Who knows? I hope she's well. Anyway, let's get to some Dear Bops. Oh, wait. No, excuse me. Before we get to Dear Bob, someone sent me, you know what, maybe we'll leave this for Monday. Klingon trivia. Yeah, we'll leave this for Monday. But on Monday, we're going to do some Klingon trivia. Now, I purposely didn't read through this, but I'm pretty sure I'll get most of these. And these are not rigged. You see, unlike Jeopardy, sorry, John. Unlike Jeopardy, which is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is unrigged. So I expect to get a near perfect or perhaps even perfect score on Klingon trivia. So thank you. Couple of news stories of note. This was posted on the Birdo Prey 5 Discord. Meta, aka Facebook, is told to free the nipple. Facebook and Instagram could lift the ban on bare breasts because it, quote, impeded right to expression for women, trans, and non-binary people. The move comes as its oversight board, the Facebook oversight board, says the ban was not inclusive. The board highlighted the removal of posts of individuals with top surgery. That's what they called breast surgery now. It's called top surgery. And women have argued that men are allowed to show nipples, but they cannot. And this sparked the Free the Nipple movement across the U.S. in 2013. Meta has been told to free the nipple at its oversight board's recommendation that its ban on bare breasts violates human rights of women, transgender, and non-binary people. Women, your human rights have been violated long enough. Absolutely. I agree. You should bare those breasts to fight the human rights violations and post it on your Facebook. The board's recommendations focused on Instagram's ban of 2 posts by a couple, one of whom is transgendered and the other non-binary, who posed topless but covered their nipples to raise awareness around top surgery. Yes, Mama Frey.
If breast surgery is top surgery,
Yes.
what the hell is brain surgery?
Top surgery, I assume. Mama Frey said, if top surgery is breast surgery, what is brain surgery? The board said the old policy is based on a binary view of gender and a distinction between male and female bodies, which makes rules about barring nipples unclear to those who do not identify as women. But it also affects women who have long fought to desexualize images of bare breasts, while arguing that men are allowed to share their bare chests. Oh my God.
Some men have bigger
Naked protesters, both men and women, marched to Facebook's New York headquarters in 2020 to demand the policy on bare breasts be changed. And for obvious reasons that YouTube has not yet embraced this free the nipple, I can't scroll down much further in this story. But obviously, this is an important issue. Write your congressmen, your senators, your mayors, your governors, your whatevers, and tell them, it's time. It's time. Actually, I believe in New York, it's already legal for women to go topless if they so choose. Yeah. And Deej is yelling, free the tatas. Jedi Bill is laughing with Deej. Birdo Frey 5 loves, but tape recorder viewing, yes. Mobile break, says Deej. Moby break. Deej says, Bill and I are the stars of the Moby. Oh, Mooby. Moves. Man boobs. Moby. Dr. Alex says, greetings, Birdo Frey. Greetings, Dr. Alex. What do you think, Dr. Alex? Free the nipple, yay or nay? Okay. What do we got? Here? We've got Google may soon demo an AI search chatbot, an AI search chatbot amid pressure from ChatGPT. The company is doubling down on AI as it lays off 12,000 workers. They can all be replaced by AI. It seems Google is feeling the heat from OpenAI's ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence-powered chatbot, has taken tech world by storm over the last couple of months, as it can provide users with information they're looking for in an easy-to-understand format. Google sees ChatGPT as a threat to its search business and has shifted plans accordingly over the last several weeks, according to the New York Times. The report claims CEO Sundar Pichai has declared a code red. It's code red. And accelerated AI development for Google is reportedly preparing to show off at least 20 AI-powered products and a chat box for its search engine this year, with at least some of it set to debut in its I/O press conference in May. Well, I don't know a lot about AI development, but I do know accelerated AI development is the best and safest kind. Darren Wagner says, hey, Bird, I got Wordle in 2 tries today. Oh, that's right. It's Wordle. It's Wordle. Let's do Wordle. So Darren's got Wordle in 2. Oh, but let's first check out Toadzilla. Toadzilla. All hail the Hypnotoad. No, it's Toadzilla. The giant toad in Australia could be the world's largest. The world's largest toad. No, not her. Him. We nicknamed her Toadzilla. I would have nicknamed her the Hypnotoad. As Kylie Gray got out of her car, she looked to the ground and gasped in disbelief. That's the biggest toad, really? That can't be. The ranger at Conway National Park in Queensland, Australia, had stopped a vehicle last week in the wild rainforest after she saw a snake slithering across the track. But what she saw next was no snake, or for that matter, anything she had seen before. When she picked up the creature, it was withholding a monster cane toad, which she believes could be the largest of its kind in the world. This was the first time Gray met the large poisonous amphibian she'd soon be calling Toadzilla. I reached down and grabbed the cane toad and couldn't believe how big and heavy it was, she said in a statement issued to the Queensland Department of Environment and Science. After weighing the cane toad nearly 6 pounds and concluding that it's a female since they weigh more than their male counterparts, sexist! Gray said she considered naming the toad Connie, but upon further consideration, she thought instead of Connie, the cane looked more like Godzilla, the fictional monster. How do they know it's fictional? That wreaks havoc on Japan. We dubbed it Toadzilla and quickly put it into a container so we could remove it from the wild. Why? It was doing so well. Oh my God, look, they're like chicken legs. Now Australian officials are trying to determine whether Toadzilla could be the largest of its species. When the Rangers returned to base on January 12th, they rated Toadzilla at 5.95 pounds, which could be a world record. The heaviest toad on record was measured in March 1991 when Prezine, a pet cane toad in Sweden, weighed in at 5.13 pounds and measured 1 foot 9 inches when fully extended. Toadzilla's age is unclear. Toads can live up to 15 years in the wild, which make park officials think this one has been around for a long time. Native to South America and mainland Central America, the cane toad was introduced into Queensland in 1935 to help control the cane beetle population. However, in the decades since it was introduced, the amphibian has not only failed to control the insects, but has become one of the worst invasive species in the world. Cane toads, which have an average weight of almost 3 pounds, have been remarkably successful in reproducing and spreading themselves, according to National Geographic. Oh, well. The diet consists mostly of insects, but will eat just about anything, including reptiles, birds, and even small mammals. Shit. That is unfortunate.
So, what's the largest turd in the world?
I don't know what the largest turd in the world is, Mama Prey, but I have a feeling he has his own channel on YouTube.
Yes.
Captain Phantom Nerds is Deed. You are talking about Bird of Prey. All his streams are a bit weird. Stanley's a bird. How do we know you're not an AI? Kapla, Stanley. I guess I don't know that I'm not an AI.
I know you're not.
Mama Prey knows. Yvette got Wordle in 3. Stanley is not impressed. Ms. Landelis is accelerated AI development. Can you say Skynet? Apparently it was a slow news day, yes. Mike Richards says no stream is complete without a visit from Aussie O'Prey. John Meyer says, I for one welcome Art Overlord Toadzilla. Stan Lee says, fry it up. Think she has trouble finding mates. She probably eats them afterwards. John Meyer says, finally Kermit the Frog can chubby chase with his own genus. Yeah, no more Porky. Not Porky. What's her name? Miss Piggy. No more Miss Piggy. Toadzilla rules, says Positive Candor. Okay. Wordle. Let's do Wordle. Wordle. Okay. Let's, I don't know. Fires. Fire. We got an E in the right spot. And we have an R. Okay, so let's put R. What do we got? We need an A. We got race. Raced. It's a 5-letter word. E's in the right spot. Now we have an R and an A. And the R is still in the wrong spot. Maybe we'll move the R and the A. We'll flip them. Arched. Why the fuck did I do that? That's, God damn it. The C and the D. Okay, well, that was a bungle, but we've got the A in the right spot. We still have the R. And okay, there's only one spot the R can be at the end. So that wasn't too bad. So enabler, enabler. What are you? I'm an enabler. That sounds like a word. No. But we now know that there's only one place the L can be. So we have AL something ER alter. Got it. Okay, got it in 5, but fairly fast. fairly fast. Not too bad. Alter. Okay. That was Wordle. Okay, let's head to Dear Bop. Dear Bop. Let's you know what? Let's do a quick commercial break. I'll be right back. I'll take my pill. I'll make a little deposit, and I'll be all good as new. Be right back. Let O.J. Simpson entertain you.
Like $69 a week here in Arizona.
Or only $79 a week here in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, Arnie? Well, what about $78 a week here in sunny California?
Or, OJ, only $59 a week here in sunny Florida. Brutal, Juice, brutal.
Hertz, you don't just rent a car, you rent a company.
I've been on my feet 6 hours. You know how I feel? I feel like dancing. Sheer energy. It makes me feel like dancing. Sheer energy. It makes my legs feel that good. Sheer Energy pantyhose look terrific. And they stimulate, refresh, and massage my legs. So I really feel like dancing.
Try Sheer Energy, because nothing beats a great pair of legs.
Do it up, feeling. Do it up.
Two great names in jeans do it up in style. With an exciting fall collection of denim and corduroy jeans in a rainbow of colors, Gloria Vanderbilt by Merjani and The Gap bring you the fit that stops traffic wherever you go.
Fall into the Gap.
Have a Gloria Vanderbilt fit at The Gap.
Good news today at the Ground Round.
You get a whole lot more at the Ground Round. You get a whole lot more.
What's the good news?
USDA Choice Top Sirloin Steak, just $3.99.
That's good news.
And new golden fried clams, also $3.99.
More good news.
Try our baked lemon butter scrod, just $3.99.
That is good news.
Steak, clam, scrod, just $3.99 each at participating Ground Rounds.
At the Ground Round, you get a whole lot more.
I'm Maud Adams. For natural flavor, I like Cot. A lot. Because Cot beverages are made with real honest-to-goodness fruit. Like sweet, juicy oranges, tart lemons and limes, luscious
real honest-to-God
and
fruit.
succulent grapes.
Unlike
30
fake
delicious
fruit.
flavors, including diet flavors, non-carbonated flavors, and the best root beer you've ever tasted. All natural, all great. Enjoy the good taste of Cot.
Natural.
A good taste of what?
So it's got to be good.
What did she say?
There really is a Kentucky.
No, there's no Kentucky Fried Chicken School. Hello, world. We're back. We're back with Dear Bob. But first, Roxas is once again Bird of Prey training to get the A in the right spot. Captain MKG is in the house. Kapla, Captain. It does look like the Hypnotoad, though, says Stanley. It absolutely does. It works so much more like the Hypnotoad than Godzilla. Richie Bull yells, Jaloja! Positive Candor says, did you see this article? No, I did not. Well, I can't see it now because it's in the wrong window. If I click on the link, what's it going to do? It kind of screws everything up. 30 years later, Deep Space Nine's pilot episode, Emissary, is still the best. Well, I agree with it. I agree with that. I gotta put the things back in place now. Okay. Mike Richards says, I think Bird of Prey made that jeans commercial. A little bit before when that jeans commercial was coming out, I was probably making Road Trip. Not Road Trip. Roadkill with my camcorder. Roxanne says, I wonder if the girl that Bird of Prey was trying to record was wearing Gloria Vanderbilt. I doubt it. Yes. Dan Ben says, Americans call fake fruit mock. I don't think we sell fake fruit. All of our fruit is real, except unless it's plastic. Gary Katzer, first with a direct email, says, click the link. Click the link. Well, it's a link to the Rock Solid YouTube community. Rock Solid Productions. The link is out there. If anybody join Rock Solid, wish Rock Solid a very happy birthday. Today is not his birthday. At least he told me it wasn't. I don't know if it is or not. I have no way of knowing what day his birthday actually is, because despite wasting, I don't know if it was hours, but it was a hell of a long time going through multiple social media profiles, trying to find some hint as to when his birthday is. I instead find messages he wrote years ago, specifically explaining to people that he doesn't give out his birthday and that he has these social media profiles that are public that don't have his birthday on it, and that his birthday is private information. And if you're not family, you really have no reason to know his birthday. So yet he expects me to nevertheless to know when his birthday is and send him a present and whatnot. And yet, in his own words, he doesn't want to give out such information. So I just say, assume today's his birthday and wish him a happy birthday until he tells us otherwise. Every day can be his birthday. It has so been commanded. But if not, at least give him a subscribe. See what he's up to. Leave a like. Click on the poll. Don't read the poll. Just click on the poll. See what you can do. You can't do it alone, and there have been many terrific video game duos. One of these options, there will be more in another poll. What's your favorite duo? Sonic and Tails, Mario and Luigi, Banjo and Kazooie, never heard of them, and Ratchet and Clank, never heard of them either. Well, as a Sega guy, I've got to go with Sonic and Tails, even though I'm sure Mario and Luigi are winning, and they are. And it's Mario. Don't ever be tricked into Mario. Mario isn't a name. It's a speech impediment. Anyway, back to Dear Bob. Dear Bob, don't open what Gary sent you. It's a porn virus. Well, too late. Also, not a porn virus. Also, you're not supposed to be messaging me, soft buddy. But also, once again, how would you even know Gary sent me a link if you weren't soft buddy? So I think this pretty much proves that soft buddy is indeed Gary's own creation. Dear Bob, I live in a Plovdiv. Can you zoom in? I don't know what that means. Okay, dear Bob. Okay, here's the situation. I got a little change in my pocket going jing-a-ling-ling. No, this is a song. I got a little change in my pocket going jing-a-ling-ling. Wants to call you on the telephone, baby. I'll give you a ring. But each time we talk, I get the same old thing. Always no huggy, no kissy until I get a wedding ring. My honey, my baby, don't put my love upon no shelf. She said, don't hand me no lines. Keep your hands to yourself. Okay. Now, this is where I've lost interest. So, what red-blooded American male to do? Better get her a ring, I guess. Dan Ben's bird. Are you glad you don't have to go out shopping for jeans and trousers? No, Dan Ben, I am not glad. I would happily go out shopping for jeans and trousers if I could walk. And truthfully, I'd probably just order them from Amazon, but regardless, I'd still. Dear Bob, up in smoke. Donde todos es mi rey. There are no signs. Que dice no fumer. So I roll on bomber. Y me doy u boy toque. Go up in smoke. Come on. Go get high. What's wrong with me? You smoke too much pot. You goddamn hippie. Stop smoking the pot. Dear Bob, up in smoke. That's where my money goes. In my lungs and sometimes up my nose. When troubled times begin to bother me, I take a toke and all my cares go up in smoke. Yep, more hippies. Gotta find an anti-hippie option, like Google can stop bots. I want to stop hippies from using Dear Bob. Dear Bob, Polly came from Miami, Florida, hitchhiked her way across the USA, plucked her eyebrows on the way, shaved her legs, and then he was a she. She says, hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. Said, hey, honey, take a walk on the wild side. Dear Bob, if you could only save one person, your child or your spouse, who would you choose? For the purposes of this question, you and your spouse are young enough to have another child. The child. There's no question. It disturbs me that so many people do answer this the other way. I mean, in this house, there was only one question. There's only one answer. Dad will pray, mom will pray, deeply instilled in me, sis will pray. And the answer, if you could only save your spouse or your child, you save the child.
Without a doubt.
Mom will pray just yelled, without a doubt.
But
if you could say both by sacrificing yourself, probably do that.
But I have something else.
Oh, Mama Pray has something else to say. Okay, Mama Pray. What else?
I'm not sure if the Catholic religion still preaches this. But before Dad and I got married, we had to go to some kind of instruction. And they actually preach that exactly in that scenario, you save each other. And Not that I was very religious, but no. No.
Well, sure. The logic, you save your spouse, you can always have another child.
Excuse
Plus,
me.
the child's with
You
God.
could always have another spouse.
Wow, it's cold.
Well,
Your spouse is your one true love.
okay. That's true.
I agree with Mama Prey, though. You always take the child, but I'm aware out there that there are plenty of people who, like, I guess, like Mama Prey says, that believe the opposite.
Here's the harder question. If you can only save your child or your grandchild, who do you save?
The grandchild.
Sorry, son, but yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Mama Prey just told me I just moved down in the list. If it's between me and Charlie, it's Charlie.
No, I give Charlie to you, and you save Charlie. I don't know how, but you better get up and walk or do whatever you got to do, and I sacrifice myself.
Dan Ben says, what's the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? I actually know that, Dan Ben. A turtle has flippers. A tortoise has feet. If it has little feet, it's a tortoise. If it has flippers, it's a turtle. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not turtles, tortoises. Richie Poole says the choice is a lot easier if you don't much care for your spouse anymore. Fair enough. Arabic son says the Kapla Prey just got off work. TBIF. TBIF, Arabic Sonder. Mike Richards is a tortoise, can play trombone. You save your child or your spouse. Yeah. Cora. Okay, Cora. Cora, close that window. If you save your baby or drowning, but can only save one, if your spouse and your baby were drowning, only save one, whom would you save? And as bad as it makes me feel, even in my hypothetical future husband or wife hated me for it, if this child were still a baby, I would go for my partner. Yep, wrong answer, Bella Nicole. Wrong answer. Sarah Copper says the baby. You pass, Sarah. You pass. Oh, and you're in Alaska. Teacher in Alaska. Good. At least you're teaching. Kyle D, parenting 2 boys. I can tell you what my wife and I discussed. If it ever faced a situation like this, always go with the baby. Good. Your wife is smart, Kyle. Sarah Weaver says, assuming all else is equal, the child. It's not even a matter of debate. Very good, Weaver. Unlike the one who was in UHF and traded in all the fish for an empty box. Matt Jacobson, professor of University of Kansas, says, while not strictly a spouse or baby answer, I would imagine that my response would be similar to this situation I was once asked about. 2 of my sons were once badgering me about which of them I would save if I were to have an accident while boating. If I could only save one of them, say if I only had 2 life preservers, which would I save? I replied I would sacrifice my life and save you both. They immediately complained, no, that's not an option. You can only save one of us. Which do you save? I thought for a second and said, honestly, I couldn't live knowing I just let one of you die. So I clasped both of you to my chest, and we'd all go down together.
Yeah, that was another foot.
Shocked silence. I then asked, wanna go boating? Okay, Matt Jacobson. You win the internet today. Anonymous says it depends if you're male or female. No. Paige Walkins, a chicken nugget enthusiast. You have to give your, what are you on Quora? What are your qualifications for answering a question? So Paige's qualifications, she's a chicken nugget enthusiast. I would save my spouse. I can make another baby or adopt another baby or simply mourn the baby. I cannot make another love of my life. My SO can help me mourn the baby, but my baby would always make me miss my SO. Paige Walkins, you fail at life.
She's not a mother.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
M. Materia is going to save her spouse too. Babies are fragile. See, this is why I get angry. I get angry. Anyway, I shouldn't have. Uh-oh. I shouldn't have. Uh-oh. I shouldn't have gone looking. Let's get back. Let's get back to the Dear Bops. Another song I'm skipping. Please don't waste my time with those. Dear Bop, you with the goat. Stop that. Dear Bop, bullshit. You did not grow up in the 90s. You never grew up. My body grew old. Let's say that much. My body grew old. Gary Katzer says, what system did they reference that didn't exist? I said it's no spoilers. If I tell you it, then it's kind of spoiling it. But this is the most minor of minor spoilers. So close your ears. Literally 10 seconds. They called it an 8-track, and they said, "What is this? Nintendo Zero?" Nintendo Zero, which I'm pretty sure never existed. Maybe I'm wrong, but I doubt it. Dear Bob, have you seen or could you reach out to our estranged brother Deej? He left the family farm many years ago as he got in a fight with Papa over the crops we should grow. Papa wanted corn and soybeans, but Deej said we should grow wacky tobacco or devil lettuce. Well, Papa didn't take to that well and kicked Deej out of the family, and Deej moved away, and we haven't seen him in forever. Well, we want to reconnect with our older brother. If you see him or can contact him, please tell him his sister Peach and little brother Squeege are looking for him, and our number 567305309. Thank you, Peach. Deej sounds like little Peach, little Peach and Squeege want you to come home, Deej. They want you to come home. Dear Bob, have you watched the new Puss in Boots movie? It's actually really good, and there's no woke or any of that BS. It's just a great movie. I never watched any of his previous movies, but this one was great. So far, it's my movie of the year. I assume MOTY. They also call him Pickles, though. Not really a fan of Puss in Boots. So. Dear Bob, the girl who kissed you wasn't your type. Was she breathing? That's your type, isn't it? Actually, no. See, I've told this before, but my, what is it? My standards. My standards are way too high. Way too high. Justified. There's nothing to justify how high my standards are. And that is probably one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons I never really, found a significant other. No, I was not. I wanted someone I found attractive. Now, granted, my definition of attractive isn't always equal to, what most modern male sensibilities would call attractive. There were some women I found attractive that other guys thought were downright ugly. But I had to find them attractive one way or another. I really just couldn't do with someone I didn't find at least somewhat attractive. It just was nothing there. There was no spark. If there's no spark, then what's the point? I guess the point was to have someone who, would love you and hold you and care for you. And so, well, I fucked up. Dear Bob, I'm trying to connect 2 monitors to 1 laptop, but only have about $60 to spend. Any recommendations? Does the laptop currently allow you to connect 2 monitors to it? Like I mean, the laptop I have, it's not a problem. It's got multiple video outs. If you only have 1 video out, I don't really know that you have an option. Not for $60. I would suggest saving up money for a better laptop. I mean, I know there are monitors out there that you can like put into a USB 3 port or something, but they're barely worth it. I mean, that's not really worth it for doing anything. If you've got like a cell phone or a tablet, there's software out there that can let you use the device as a second monitor. That's something. If you've got a TV, there's software out there that'll let you use your TV as a second monitor. If you got Windows 10, you should be able to do it wirelessly. I've done it. It's not easy, but it's possible. I would just save money and get a laptop that actually does what you want it to do. Dear Bob, who cares when Rock Solid's birthday is? Well, if he wants me to know it, if he wants a gift and he wants a birthday message or something, then he's got to meet me halfway. He's got to meet me halfway. Dear Bob, would you date a midget? Is that your type? I have. It's never come up. It has never come up. I wouldn't say it's not my type, but not particularly interested in it. I guess it would depend on her personality. It would depend on her personality. And Gary Katzer says, look at the dates. Sometimes coincidence is just that. Look at when I sent the email telling you to click the link. There was actually from Monday, not today. When was the email that came after mine? I couldn't see, so I don't know. Not me, but thanks for playing. Well, sometimes it's just a coincidence, but okay, Gary. At 18:20 on Monday, you sent the email. At 18:21, Soft Putty sent the message. So, yeah, it's not coincidence. It is not coincidence. Okay. Literally, if you don't remember sending it, then it's very possible you yourself have a multiple personality disorder and you don't remember sending the message. But there is no way that these messages did not originate. In fact, if I was so inclined, I'm going to take the screen off because I'm going to look at the headers from this email and see if there's any way to match it up to a common IP address. No. No, I can't. I can't match it up. But it doesn't mean it's not true. Could have been a separate device. Could have been anything. But clearly there's a connection. Clearly there's a connection. And one final, Dear Bob says, Dear Bob, I just seen in person in the store I went to school with that was 2 grades below, and he is already losing his hair, while mine just has a couple gray hairs. Was it wrong to laugh? I mean, out loud, probably. Probably. As someone who experienced early hair loss, I mean, I really don't think me personally, I couldn't care less. I know I did my fair share of joking with bald teachers over the years. Yeah, it was pretty much knew it was going to happen, I guess. What goes around comes around. Miss Lundell says that's telling of just how selfish society has become. Yes. And he says, she kissed you. What else did you need? Said, I need a spark. Mike Richards says, are we insignificant others? No, Mike Richards, not you guys. Richie Pools says, soft buddy unmasked. And Ms. Lundell says, will the real soft buddy please stand up? Yep. I think we put that mystery to bed. Okay, guys, thank you all for hanging out with me. I'm going to get back to editing and working on this actual minimally spoiler-free, minimal spoilers review of that 90s show, and I'll be around later on and whatnot. So kapla all. Thanks for checking out. Tomorrow, Saturday, Jet Nerdy. I will try to remember to be on time. Also tomorrow at 4 p.m. on Miss Lundell's channel, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Now, if Charlie is here, I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but I will try. And Sunday, Twilight Zone continues. We're up to 30-minute episodes, so there'll be 3 30-minute episodes rather than 2 1-hour episodes on Sunday. So, Kapla all. Do a Velma rant. I didn't see Velma. I'm not going to watch Velma. I couldn't give a shit about anything Scooby-Doo related. So I really can't rant about it. But you could, Gorilla. And I'm sure you did. So the real Invasion of the Body Snatchers at 3 p.m. Central on Miss Lundell's channel. Be there or be square. Right? That's what the cool kids say. Oh. I was rewatching this recently, and I noticed you can actually see the tongue. You can actually see the tongue in a couple of shots. Terry Farrell, actual tongue play there. Quite impressive. Once again, highly recommend Deep Space Nine Rejoined. A good show. And, you know, it's an important thing that actors practice, good hygiene. Because you never know when you'll be called to kiss someone on the set. And obviously you don't want to have to run and do a mouthwash, and you got a makeup job on. You get all dirty. So it's important to actors that they practice good hygiene, and I'm pretty sure that's enough. That's enough. We talked about it. It's fair use, baby. It is fair use now.